Hello, my name is Thierry Bell. I'm the founder of Global Fashion Management, and I really thank you for watching this video. It means that you are serious about setting up and improving your business in the US, and this video will tell you much more how you can do that. So you are at the right place to make much more dollars when it comes to building up a successful brand in the US. I mean, why the US? I think it's synonymous for me as a market which can take your brand and build it up to the next level and certainly build $1 million business and more. Just to let you know, I was close to and working with companies such as being able to do over $2 million with the Korean community in LA. I can tell you a story about a company, brand, who was able to do over $1 million just in hats, selling to the black community, going to church in the south of the US. What about that $2 million business by a women's contemporary line selling just in the Midwest? So or assisting a brand to open actually the gift market, which is huge in the US, in addition to the ready-to-wear market, and adding another $300,000. My personal background has been in the US when I was a kid, as well as setting up and from scratch in New York a fashion business and managing over $40 million. And the clients really appreciate the energy and the passion I'm putting into building your brand globally. And today I'm going to be sharing more, of course, with honesty and transparency, how you can make it successful in this country. And actually a lot of the rules, golden rules, and reason for failure I will share with you is actually something you will be able to use not only in the US, but also in your home country as well as in Europe. So I'm going to be sharing with you, brand and retail experience going over 20 years with a lot of international designer brands as well as young designers or small, medium-sized companies. People like Calvin Klein, DVF, DKNY, Kenzo, Mona Lisa, Moschino, Polka, Smalto, Sergio Rossi, Versace. And I will be in Milan on May the 4th, 5th, and 6th and ready to be available for you on a one-to-one if necessary. Stay till the end because I've got a surprise for you at the end of this. So there's really top 4 reasons for failure when brands try to build up the US market. The first reason is no mastery. What do I mean by lack? By that, a lack of absence of professionalism. To gain mastery, one has to spend many hours, days, weeks, years on the job. And often we usually overestimate what we know and we underestimate what we can learn to improve the business. And obviously we need to learn how to build a brand. We need to learn how to talk to a US buyer or a US sales rep. And this is absolutely critical. And we want to make sure that we show you that it's also way different in the US compared to your European experience. So you cannot take your European experience and duplicate it in the US and expect that success. It will not work. And so I have seen brands losing face when they didn't know what UPS ground means, or a Missy collection, or when the buyer talks about open to buy. And let's remember, the buyer, the agent, won't tell you necessarily what you don't know. So you need to be able to go to the US well prepared. I mean, the seasonality is different. Hopefully you will know that already. And if you're planning to go to the US with just 2 collections a year with 2 delivery drops, just don't go. You will be wasting so much time and money, and most probably leaving 80% of the money on the table. So it's like building a new house. From the outside, it may look very nice. From the inside, it looks very well finished. But in 6 months, it could start leaking. So my job is to tell you before you buy it whether it's going to work or not. And I want to share that little story. I was to deliver a USA workshop in the UK at one of my clients in Manchester, and the equivalent of the amministratore delegato was here with a colleague, but there were still 2 directors to join us. And therefore, coffee in hand, the two people were discussing some logistic issues. And so I started asking them whether they could show me their UPS invoice. And they showed me the UPS invoice. And just within a few minutes, I was able to show them how they could be saving over 3%. And so basically, on that just $100,000 business they had, we were able to save $3,000. So in less than 10 minutes, we're able to change the system, make them understand that they could avoid paying duty on duty, and therefore, paying 4 times the investment they had placed into that USA workshop. Now, there is a second reason for failure when the brand goes to the US, and it's a lack of preparation, a lack of system. Today, there's a lot of competition. Time is of essence. We need to know when something works, why it's working. We need to know when something doesn't work, and we need to understand why. We need preparation, we need a system, we need a process. I'm sure that all designers know that to get their Autumn/Winter 15 collection ready for the January, February, or March 2015 show is a must-have, and this is done. However, I see over 50% of young designers who will sign for a show just 30, 60 days before showtime. But that is the wrong thing to do. Because when you do that, a lot of your costs and expenses will go up. I mean, my client was heading to Magic in Las Vegas. Instead of paying 600 or 800 euros for a flight ticket, he ended up paying, way above 1,200. At the same time, we may refuse for advice, we may refuse to pay for improved knowledge or implementing a new system, and that basically is a failure and an opportunity to grow sales. So, over 50% of brands I've been working with over the last 20 years are not having a process to identify, connect, and convert the buyers. Why? Because all that lack of preparation and process is a reason for us to fail. So remember, a lot of US buyers work by appointments. So when we join our client at a show, this is exactly what we do. We make sure that we book appointments for our clients. And we can book 5 to 15 appointments before even arriving to the show. And, one big mistake I see is a lot of brands will come to Global Fashion Management and ask, just give me a buyer, just give me an agent. So they're not interested in the process. But then if you're just looking for a buyer and you don't know the process, how are you going to be challenging that third party, whether internal or external, to do a good job? Now, the third reason for failure is there's no consistency. And in order to get to the top, to get top dollars and success in the US, you need consistency. Today, I can stay fit because I make a consistent 4 times a week commitment to run or to have a sports activity. Otherwise, I know it won't happen. I will fail. Same thing happens in the fashion world. And if it means that we need to work on time and priority management, let's do it. If it means that we need to make sure we differentiate the urgent task versus the important task in the business, that is okay. So really what we want to understand is that, you are most probably spending 3,000 to 5,000 euros per show plus travels and expenses. There's a cost in the sample collection and the funding that you need to attach to that exercise. So we need to make sure there's a consistency in the way we're going to approach that element. I want to tell you also another story of this UK brand who obviously speaks English, as one can understand, and who is very strong in customer service values for its UK clients. So they will speak to those UK customers on a regular basis. But when it comes to the US, maybe a question of fear, they actually don't apply the same consistency. So basically at the show, they picked up 22 orders and actually lost 7 due to poor management in finalizing the orders and finalizing the payment terms before shipping. But after shipping the Spring-Summer 2015 collection and goods, we lost another 4 orders. Why? Because the customer service level was not to the liking of US buyer. who called but were never answered but by emails. So having consistency is really a great deal. The last point, which explains reason for failure when heading to the US, is no sounding board, no mentor, no coach. And there is a big question that we all need to address is who is challenging us? Who is challenging you? Sometimes we do not know what we do not know. And you need to be accountable to somebody. Yes, of course, we could try to work by trial and error. But that can come at a high cost, especially in fashion. Once again, a trade show investment could easily be 3,000 to 5,000 euros for just a 10 by 10 feet or 10 square meter booth. Your sample collection could be 5,000, 20,000 euros and even more. So, if there is no or little sales out of that sample collection or that season, can you really afford it? And don't forget, buyers and agents will not always tell you the truth. So let me tell you a little story. Today with my clients, I can save them 30 to 50% on the duty they pay when heading to the US. All that legally, of course. I approach people and ask them, would you mind if I ask you 3 questions in 3 minutes and I'll tell you whether you're wasting money? And many people will tell me no. They don't want to know. And yet, I've asked them the questions beforehand and I know they are wasting money. So people sometimes refuse to learn, refuse to be challenged. And on a $100,000 business, they might be wasting $5,000 to $10,000. So it's the show, it's the cost of a show. And heading to an extra show in the US could be you putting another 5 to 20 orders, and actually even maybe much more. So there is really an important aspect of us understanding that we need to go beyond purely doing it ourselves, but making sure that we understand that somebody has done exactly what we want to do better. And it would be wasting time and money not to gain that knowledge and experience. You want to change people's life with your designs. You want to be more profitable. So by taking a sounding board, you will actually reduce the probability of failure. Now, what I want to share with you is also a special offer. I'm organizing a USA workshop on May the 6th from 11 to 3:30 p.m. in Milan, next to the Central Station. And normally that investment would be 450 euros plus VAT. But today for you, I wanted to make it to a very special price for watching the 290 euros only. Who are the clients that actually attend this USA workshop? Really a cross-section from men, women's, kids, accessories, both in Europe as well as outside Europe. From Delmont in Germany, Denison Boston in the UK, IKKS in France, Le Crown in Italy, Polka in France, Pomodo in the UK, Pretty Green in the UK, Smalto in France, Tallulah in Australia. Even, I would say, UK government has been taking on this USA workshop, because it is really geared up to give you all the understandings, but mostly a strategy and action plan to build up a successful long-term USA business. It is about reducing your expenses on logistics up to 15%. It's being able to have this opportunity to reduce, if applicable, duty between 20 to 40%. It's being able to increase sales by 30 to 300%, and maybe more depending on the situation of your specific brand. It's really having a process and numbers, performance indicators to tell you how we can identify the best buyers and establish a sales pitch to improve the conversion rate. And to some extent, having also your own executive director without the cost associated with it, because whether it's going to be in the preparation, on site, but also in the follow-up, it's about you getting somebody who can join your team and yourself, make that a success. It's going to be about sharing over 20 years experience working with brands. Of course, a lot of designer brands like Calvin Klein, Moschino, Para, Sergio Rossi, but a lot of also small, medium-sized companies and young designers. So really a spread of clients which will make you understand at which level you are. I will be able to give you a solution that fits your budget, your vision, your value. In addition, for you, it's about on the day. It's not only providing you with the presentation so you can share it internally, making sure that you have all the bullet points about how the US market works, how to speak to buyer, how do you convert them, and how do you maximize all the money you're spending at a trade show. And once again, a lot of those tools I will be sharing with you on that day are tools you can use very successfully in Italy as well as in Europe or in any other shows you will be doing. And of course, very relevant to the US market. I'm going to also give you a USA business templates because you need to go to the US with the right order form, the right terms and conditions that is relevant to the US, and they are going to be different from the one you use in Europe. And that's also going to be a big saving for you. My values are about helping you as a brand to grow a successful US business. So it's just not a one-way street. It's about having that continuous improvement and that exchange. So for me, it's critical that after the workshop, we have a conversation, because you may receive a contract from a sales rep or a distributor. You may be working on a sales pitch and willing to have somebody to challenge you on the words you're going to use so that it's more impactful and we convert better. And there will be an 1 hour follow-up conversation, exchange for that benefit. So what I want to make sure that you take advantage of this benefit of having that USA workshop on May the 6th in Milan from 11 to 3:30. And if you have any questions, of course, I'm more than happy to answer you by email, on the phone, but you can also connect with my Italian partner and colleague, Walter, and you can reach him on 3447 334 1699, or you can send him an email. How can you actually register for the workshop on May the 6th? Well, you can register through Eventbrite. If you Google Fashion USA Workshop Milano, just make sure you register for the May the 6th event. Or I've done that short URL that you can use. Make sure you use the code Milano59 to get that extra discount so that you only pay 290 euros. You have to register and book before Wednesday evening. And you will have to send us an email with your VAT number, and the invoice, of course, will be raised. You may have some questions before you actually register, and that is okay. Feel free to connect with me either at usa@globalfashionmanagement.com or on the phone, or connect with Walter, and we'll be happy to call you back if necessary. Looking forward to helping you build a very successful USA business. It is possible, and let's make sure that 2015-2016 is your opportunity to get to $500,000, $1 million, and if you're already there, we'll get you to the next level. Thank you very much for watching this video, and there's going to be much more coming soon. Grazie.